Alright, I'm back again, and this time after throwing a few punches at Nintendo, it's Microsoft's turn, and we're going to talk about Microsoft and a few of the rumored features of the next Xbox, specifically the Always Online feature, which everyone seems to be talking about, even though rumors that we got earlier this week claimed that the Always Online connectivity would not be a feature of the next Xbox. But it is what it is. I've already formed an opinion, and I'm going to stand by that opinion and share it here on YouTube for everybody to talk about. Now, I made a post on Reddit last week or earlier this week, sometime or other, I don't remember, talking about why that I thought Microsoft would indeed have an Always Online feature in their next console. And to understand why that this feature is not really about DRM and why it is likely that Microsoft would include it, you have to understand where Microsoft is coming from as a company. And Microsoft is bigger than the Xbox. Their ambitions are bigger than the Xbox console. And if you look at what Microsoft is trying to accomplish and their overall business strategy, they want to be able to compete with two major competitors, possibly a third, but mainly Apple and Google. And if you consider what Apple and Google are doing, they have turned themselves into sort of lifestyle content providers, and that's what Microsoft is looking to do. That's what they've done with Bing. They've updated their search, their Bing search, and they're trying to compete with Google in that space, and their SkyDrive to compete with Google's web apps, Internet Explorer, I think 10 or maybe it's 11, to compete with Chrome and Firefox, and their App Store to compete with Apple and Google, their Surface tablet to compete with the iPad, their Windows Phone 8 to compete with Android and iOS. And I don't feel like that they've done a particularly good job in those spaces, but that's still their end goal, is to compete with Apple and Google and perhaps Facebook in the realm of data collection. Because that's really what Apple and Google especially are into. They collect data for marketing, and then they can sell that data to marketers, or they can use it to market their own services to content providers, and have content providers put their services on Google's Android or what have you. So anyway, once you understand that that's what the Always Online feature is about. It's about content delivery and data collection rather than DRM. Because if you consider that Always Online DRM really has no benefit to Microsoft. There's no benefit to Microsoft trying to establish that on the hardware side. Why would they not just let the publishers of these video games do that, since the publishers of the games have way more to lose than Microsoft themselves? I mean, Microsoft might lose some licensing fees because the game doesn't sell, but I don't think that's worth the trade-off that they would make to be the bad guys for including that system of DRM. It's not like the publishers are going to ignore their platform if they don't, especially since Sony hasn't. And so then, like I said, that leaves the two things that Always Online is about: content delivery and data collection. And these are what really benefit Microsoft. They want to ensure that everyone on their platform is connected and has access to these services that can be offered either from themselves or through their partners. And if you take a look at, say, a company like Crackle, or just anybody, Microsoft can go to them and say, hey, 100% of our consumer base is connected to the internet, and we can guarantee you that 100% of our customers will have access to your content. And if you're talking in the terms of Xbox 360 numbers, that's about 76 million customers that are guaranteed to have access to that content. So I think that's a powerful thing. It's a good motivator for them to be able to make more partners to add more media features. And when you're thinking about this, if you ask yourself, well, why the Xbox platform? Why not through the PC space, or through Windows Phone 8 or Surface tablets? And the answer to that would be because the Xbox is the most successful of any of those platforms. Microsoft's Windows Phone 8 it's really dead in the water at this point. Nobody cares about it. Nobody wants it. The Surface tablets, the same thing. Very few people care about that. Nobody wants it. As far as their Bing, nobody wants it. I mean, sure, they can try to entice you to search on Bing and get a few Xbox points, but nobody wants those Xbox points either. And nobody wants to use Bing. And it's PC sales are down, and that is being blamed on Windows 8. And I can't say I blame anybody for at least considering another platform like a Mac, because I have Windows 8 and I only paid $15 for it, and let me tell you, it's terrible. There's half of your computer that you can't use, and then the half that you do get to use, which is basically the desktop application, is a watered down version of Windows 7. Now, there are a couple of cool things about it, but regardless, it's still about 50% of what you actually want your PC to do in that operating system, and then within that 50%, probably 5% of it is watered down. So nobody wants that. So when you consider all those things, it only makes sense that Microsoft would want to use their most popular platform, the Xbox, to carry over into this new market space that they want to enter. And they already have 76 million customers, and they're trying to transition a good number of those customers over to their next Xbox platform whenever it's announced. Because if you think about things like the subsidized contract pricing, where if you buy a $99 Xbox right now and sign up for 2 years of Xbox Live on contract for how much ever a month, I think $15 a month, a lot of those same customers are going to carry over. Are they really going to want an Xbox 360 at this point to last them another 3 years? Or are they going to look at, say, the subsidized pricing of the next Xbox and buy a discounted console, carry their contract over, and extend it for another 2 years? And that's going to keep people tied to this platform and tied to the kind of content that Microsoft provides. And if their console is always online, then they're going to have a good shot at making even more money from the customers that they do have. And I'd say they would even be willing to take less hardware sales to have more profitable customers. For instance, instead of selling 76 million units, what if they only sold 60 million units, but their customers that bought those 60 million units spent twice as much money as the other 16 million customers that they missed out on, that they gave to Sony. So I think that makes a lot of sense, to risk having less customers, but having those customers that you do have more invested into your ecosystem, because that's what Microsoft wants to do. They want to invest these customers into their ecosystem, and that ecosystem spreads across several landscapes, so to speak. Not just the Xbox. That ecosystem spreads to your PC. It could generate interest in Windows Phone 8 or Windows Surface tablets once they ever figure out what they're going to do with those Surface tablets and connectivity between the Xbox, or the Windows Phone 8 and connectivity between the Xbox. So I think that could transition into bringing more customers into their ecosystem overall. Even getting customers interested in using things like SkyDrive on their Xbox. This would be a good opportunity to integrate more customers across all their services, to get the Xbox customers more invested in what's going on with any other services that they offer. And then the other major thing that this is about is data collection. And when Microsoft has the opportunity with the Xbox and Kinect to have it always online and to have it collecting such a focused and massive amount of data right there from your living room, it's a different type of data than is able to be collected on your phone or your computer. I mean, this thing can know the shows that you watch, the searches that you happen to make on the Internet Explorer on your Xbox, the music that you listen to. And when you consider the data collection that Kinect 2.0 would be able to provide, it becomes so focused that it really makes Facebook's data collection look laughable. They can notice how much attention you're paying to what's on your screen right now. They can notice whether you're looking away from it. They can see how many people watch it with you. And that kind of comprehensive data has to be worth a good amount of money. And they can also use this data to tailor marketing to you. For example, if the Kinect knew that you would not pay attention to an advertisement after, say, 20 seconds, but others would sit there focused on an advertisement for 2 or 3 minutes, then the customers who would focus on the advertisement longer would get the longer, more extended advertisements, and you would get several shorter, smaller snippets of advertisements, and that would be worth more as far as selling advertisements to marketers, which is, as we all know, Microsoft is no stranger to advertisements on the desktop. And if they could go to these guys, these advertising partners, and say, hey, we have got every single one of our customers connected to the internet, and we can guarantee you guys that every single customer is going to see your ad right up here on the Xbox dashboard, then I believe that they're going to be able to make more money from charging their advertisers more money to advertise on the Xbox dashboard, and we would even see more ads there than we do now. Because I can tell you, on Windows 8, I can go into some of the apps that came standard with this thing, and I can scroll to the end of them, and I see advertisements there. So that's definitely the direction that Microsoft wants to take. And I've heard a lot of people talking about this, and even some channels like Review Tech USA, which he treated it as a DRM issue, which I don't believe it is, and I don't understand why more people aren't looking at it from this perspective, because I believe I have a pretty sound perspective on this thing. And that's about it. That's all I've got to say on this right now. I'm sure I can think of something else to add to this later, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it short because I don't want to end up with another 30-minute video. And this is more Super Mario Bros. 3. I had recorded quite a bit of gameplay all the way up until World 8, but I started dying a lot in World 8 because it's hard. And I'm going to go ahead and probably cut this video short. I recorded it one world at a time. But it is what it is. I'll have another video up probably late tonight, maybe tomorrow, and I think this time it's time that I talk about the good things that Nintendo's doing, what Nintendo's doing right, because I'm not RXL209 here. I'm trying to be fair and look at it honestly. And a lot of people can't take an honest opinion about Nintendo, but on the flip side of the coin, even though Nintendo does a lot of things wrong, we're going to look at what they did right next video.